Thanks for staying with us. So before I move, thanks for staying with us. Before I move into the next topic, I wanted to read this message from Engineer Tijani, PhD. He said there is what is called dignity, and certain offices are dignified and should be respected. If you have a 10-year-old chap as a leader in any community, your respect to that chap is the office he's holding, not his age. There's dignity in labor, and that is why we must dignify every meaningful job people are doing. It is the lack of honor and respect that has brought about disrespect to officials and ego from the officials to others. The bottom line here is that the senator and Madam due process is their lack of anger management. Action and reaction are equal but opposite, according to Newton's third law of motion. You can't work in the corporate world and tell your colleagues or juniors to shut up. You rather deal with the issue officially and not verbalize it by exchange of words. So that's his own version. However, let's move on now to building wealth, especially as women who live in a patriarchal society. This year's theme is Accelerate Action, and we're still discussing gender parity. We're still discussing the fact that we want women to be visible. One of the reasons why we talked about this issue what happened with Natasha is because there are women trying to get into the Senate. And it's looking as if, with all the drama that's happening, the men are saying, please close the gate, don't let them come again, because we don't want their wahala. They're constantly on the offensive. You know, they're not here. So do you think, as women are trying to get more representation, get more gender parity, having more gender parity, do you think some of these issues that have happened would have set us back further, or do we think we can still achieve that gender parity that we desire?
Not necessarily. It may set things backward in some areas, but if you are valuable and strategic, it becomes difficult for people to stop you from going forward. So most of the time, the reason why we are not able to get to where we need to get to is because, number one, we are not strategic. And then number two, we don't really come with the value that is needed. So when you are strategic, you will know how to be able to enter into a place. Because most of the time, when you are not strategic, you just feel that I should be there. But when you look at the place you want to enter into, you sit down and ask yourself, who are the power brokers? Who are the gatekeepers? What are the limitations? What are the things standing against me? How can I work around it using the existing system to gain access? Once you understand that, you now become strategic. You will find that what you thought was very difficult will become easy, because some of the people will start opening the door for you because you have made them feel as if they are the one giving you the place. Not that you are fighting for the place. Yes. Because you strategically, because really in life, nobody comes up, people bring you up. We're all brought up, and there are people established in place that have to bring you up. But in order for them to bring you up, you must either be strategic to be able to make them see something that they need you to do, or you are valuable that they come for you because they need you.
Would I call that stooping to conquer?
Yeah.
Which is...
And that's wisdom.
Wisdom,
yes.
Yeah. Which is what many people who get to the top have to do.
Yeah.
But now the fight is, why are we having to stoop when the men don't stoop?
Now, men do stoop too in places where they don't have what it takes and they need somebody to help them. Yeah, what's that?
Fubara did not stoop.
He didn't stoop later.
So,
but at the time he used to stoop. He stooped
yeah.
to get to where he
men do stoop, and now that he didn't stoop, see the outcome. Because it's not about the gender, it's about wisdom. Anywhere you want to go into, whether you like it or not, we're all here now. Look at it, we're all here now. You guys have been here 12 years, 11 years, 8 years. If they come today and say, okay, we are removing 2 people, we are bringing 2 new people. Look at the weekend people that come to join you. The guys that come on weekend. Anytime they come to the midweek session, you will see the difference. They don't do the way they do on Saturday. That's wisdom. When they come, they're like, why? Because it's because, these are the people that are here.
That's not true.
No, listen.
They are confident.
We're not saying they are not confident. We're not saying that. But when they come, they're like, weekend, you will not say, weekend people came to join us. There is a way it creates a blend. If they bring a new person to the show that is not weekend, and the person comes feeling that no matter what people have done for 12 years, you are about to see the greatest thing, whether you like it or not. Even though you are all women, you say okay, let's see now. So that's the way. So it's not about gender. Anywhere you want to enter into, people have gone ahead of you. There are things they know you don't know. There are things they don't have that you have. You have to have mutual respect and be strategic. Most of the time, it's not as if what we are looking for is wrong. The way we are going about it is what makes people to now say, okay, let's kukuma, because not everybody is matured enough to be able to say, okay, I don't, because say we achieve more when we don't care who gets the credit. Some people want to get the credit. If I'm not going to get the credit, let's scatter everything because that is their low level of operation.
Aye.
And that's the way it works for some people.
Low level of
It's very sad. You know, within politics, sometimes you are not encouraged to be quiet. I know this instance now is looking like it shouldn't have been, but sometimes, you know, your silence is consent.
Yeah.
And it could be consent to your loss of position, office, and a lot of things. For those of us who grew up in societies where we're told most of the time to be silent, my father would teach you to be boisterous, to be outspoken. Then when he goes to family, he said to say, no, yeah, keep quiet, leave your uncles and their wives so they don't think I didn't raise you well. You know, silence could be consent to a more deeper abuse. You are forced to say something. Even if you are going to be silent in a way that is seen that you're hesitant. It is seen that you're open. Yeah. How do you say it?
Now, you see, you don't necessarily have to be silent, but when you speak, the way you speak and what you say goes along. So we're in a meeting, just to give you this silent stuff. We're in a meeting, everybody's silent. Have you noticed that when we are in school, the people that ask questions are seen to be more intelligent, but they are not very intelligent. But because they ask questions, everybody now knows them. Everybody now says, so that's the way it works. Whether you like, when you are quiet, silence can never be quoted or misquoted. And that's why it can be seen as consent. So when you are in a place and you have opposing opinion, it's not because you now, I don't want to call to anybody. No, you already know that these people have patriarchal mindset. And I'm a woman. You don't now come. These people have ego. That is the strategy we're talking about. It is strategy that is the problem. So you now look, okay, they already have ego. Let us massage it. I know where I'm going to. Tabafe you know apata no okay. But you know, maybe border. So you have to balance those things. So you can now say, excuse me, please, I'm confused though. I need clarity. You know me, I'm just coming. I don't know much.
Apologetic.
Yeah, I don't know much. Yeah, I don't know much.
It's Yoruba people that you want to insult somebody, you still apologize.
Sorry, this one you say we're going to. I thought there was a time they said that this thing is not okay. So is it okay now? Because I don't understand. So that I can know. You have everybody will now. You know they will say this girl is intelligent. But you have spoken so that whether you like it or don't forget. In politics, the problem I tell people any meeting you go. My wife is a politician, and when they used to go, she keeps saying, "I'm not going." I say, "You will go." I say, "Make sure that in every meeting you talk because there is a minute of meeting."
Your name has to be read.
Your name has to be there. There is a minute of meeting. Even if it's just a question, you have to. Your name has to be there. Those things, after a while, they will now say, that woman that is always talking. That's how she became a chief. Because they kept the answer. Then I said, look, listen, just be doing, women, this, women, that, be doing free things. One day, that's how they called and say, there is one woman that is always doing something. Let us bring her. Because if you are doing something, you think nobody's watching, they are watching.
You.
And then when something bigger comes, they may want to use you. They will now say, okay, let's use that woman that is already doing it and give her something small and chop the remaining. But you are already being...
Okay, so I want to go to Natasha's problem.
Oh, God.
Because I've heard you stoop to conquer, do this, do that. Okay, so how did it start? It started with her not agreeing to change her seat. So the Senate went against her. But now when she brought up the sexual harassment, I feel is when they now said, you don't chop the left, you are going. That's when things started to work.
Auntie Yenny, that's not a start. That's why, you see, what we see in public domain is different from reality. Don't forget, that's not how it starts. You are chummy with the Senate president.
Yeah.
You people are close, and they gave you positions that people believe you are not qualified for.
Yeah.
So let's not
but they removed that from the position.
Now, so already, people already have to who you be when you come. Because you're close to Akpabi, they don't give you position. So already, that was already there. She's not qualified because she's using relationship, because they are family friend. We don't do yet. So don't forget, that's already there. So when people are envious of you, they are waiting for your downfall.
Ew.
When people are envious, they're waiting for you to make one mistake so that they can amplify it for your downfall. So there are already people waiting.
Hey.
So that was there. Don't forget, then we now start all the nightclub issue, and then little is brewing. Okay, but I say problem, the paradise. So everybody's already waiting. And then the main thing now happened, and then she said, I'm not moving, I'm not. Now, what she did, Akpabio did, but nobody said anything about it. They didn't subscribe anything. But she did it, but because there are underlying factors, and there are people already angry about some benefits.
She shouldn't have
Bam.
really
So by the time she now brought out,
fine,
look,
finish again.
let's see, anytime anything is happening, please understand the psychology in the atmosphere. Don't forget that we just had a case of a student that insulted a teacher that collected phone, where she now turned around to say sexual harassment. So that was already in the when this one. So and it is already in the public domain that every time there is a man between women and men, women will quickly use the sexual harassment as a card. So whether it is true or false, we don't know. But don't forget there is a precedent. She has lied against somebody before.
Bagan.
And the announcer, this one will be another one. So if there was no precedent, they will have probably taken it to say, okay, but because there was a precedent, people are now being, because I hear people saying women should support women. If you are a woman and you want to support a woman, you don't support blindly. You support objectively.
Wisdom.
Sometimes.
So if you now realize that there is a precedent, you are like,
Sometimes we don't want to support objectively. We don't care.
But how far? How is it going? How is it helping you? And where don't carry you this
I'm
one?
worried.
You want to support blindly?
We are starting something dangerous. We are giving women double burden to prove a sexual harassment, because more times than not, oftentimes than not,
sexual harassment.
there's sexual harassment when a woman says it is. In subtle ways, in different ways. But what we learnt growing up as a form of defense is that just try to play it down because nobody will believe you.
Yeah.
Imagine that, will I position a phone before somebody come and group me?
Now, you see.
It will be grace that I'm making a video than somebody groups me. If I don't have a video and I say, why did you just group me? What we experience growing up, I don't know if anybody, I experienced it too many times. It's the person who say, I touched you. Person will form victim. I will be like, but you just did. And the more loud vocal you are about it, the more everybody say, why this guy just did like this safe? You were tagged, named, and labeled. Now you the first touch. Now it's not be ordinary touch, you touch you. You were tagged, named, labeled.
Yeah, I understand that perfectly.
To silence you.
Yeah, I understand.
Now we're in a place where we're saying if precedent is in the air and somebody just group me now, I will be saying, God will judge you, instead of addressing it. If you send me subtle message and say, Auntie Alpha now, you know there's one where they funky alaja, you sexy alaja. That's not your place to tell me. I alaja so you don't tell me. Somebody has already told me at home, so keep quiet. That's not a nice way to approach me. So if you come and say, you can make me happy, you know, at some point I should be able to address it. But we are not saying that there's a precedent, so I will not be able to say it.
Now,
but I will be carrying it. How do we address it?
The precedent makes people that should speak to be careful of speaking, but it doesn't mean that the law should not take its course, because you say you have evidence. So that is why the meeting of this Ezekwesili thing, we need to still go and find out what happened.
Going to Natasha, I'm talking of a general. I'm saying that how many women now we have to position camera? Should we wear body cam?
No, you can't position camera.
Should we start wearing body cam to capture? But
don't ever be silent about your truth.
You know, somebody puts camera on a girl to go and catch. Sorry, somebody puts camera on a girl. Princess did, because they knew to establish that abuse would have taken forever to establish, because no evidence. They put camera and set up a situation. They say it was staged.
Yeah, it's unfortunate that we are in that situation.
Which one gongo are we going to do to establish? Because there are sexual abuses.
I watched the senator and he said, the former senator said, in Nigeria, it's Nigeria now. Everybody tells you are beautiful now. Everybody tells it's normal.
We have normalized abnormal behavior, but unfortunately,
we have normalized it.
We have very little time left.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.